So here's Bill Belichick yesterday, and just play the whole thing and then play the Mulaney thing after. I'll set up the Mulaney thing. All right, here is.
Do
Bill.
We have the Mulaney thing yet, Ryan? Okay, cool.
Okay, he has it. All right, so here we go.
Where that story came from, obviously, it's already been taken down and everything else. I mean, it's just total, as Trump would say, fake news. I mean, it's just, I don't know, it's just a novel. Michael Lombardi and I came in and started hiring people and come into the organization in December. We got here the same day. We've been doing it every day, and that's the way it's going to be. So I'm sure there's a lot of other people out there that want to get clicks and views and posts on my face or whatever, but it's just a bunch of garbage.
So here is the John Mulaney joke about the consistent My Face references by Bill Belichick.
I would blow up my brand and distance myself from my fans for one moment in her company. To watch her scroll, to wake up and hear her on the phone in the bathroom.
Wow, Richard, it seems like a dream.
Yeah, it's a dream. Yeah, we also have some cute Insta faces.
Oh, that's right. You call Instagram Insta faces, even though you're on social media a lot.
Yeah, that's just like the cute little thing. Like he got a chuckle. He's like someone's grandpa. Do you ever when someone gets a chuckle one time and they keep beating that dead horse over and over again? It just your girlfriend, who is your creative muse, lives online. Oh my God! Oh, he just so dumb. My face, that's like a sneering, my face thing. You know exactly what it is. This broad's putting pictures of you guys up on it constantly. It's what got this whole thing, got my antenna up. All right. Well, anyway, Bill Belichick at least has won Super Bowls and was a very good football coach. He still might be an okay football coach. Who knows? But I know Mike Lombardi's a piece of garbage because he doesn't even have the fallback if he's had any success. Again, this is a guy who spent over 10 years politicking about Belichick. I'm telling you that Mad Dog would have him on his show once a week because he knew not only would he have him on, the rest of the show was taken care of because everyone would call him and mock him.
Right.
So what it was basically like a circus freak that you would have on the show, and then you would let people gawk at him for the next hour and talk about what a freak he was.
Hank the Angry Drunk.
Right.
Just have him come on, but it was Michael Lombardi.
At least Hank knew music trivia.
He was unbelievable.
He was better than Baba Booey. So that's one of the great Stern segments. And so anyway, so Mike Lombardi, is making like $1.5 million now, which is a lot of money, from the state of North Carolina. But you have to figure he spent 15 years blowing up his brand, making no money, working for Visson or whatever the hell garbage networks he was working for. So if you take and you extrapolate the $1.5 million over the course of 15 years, he's making less than a public school teacher. I mean, this is not a man who fell into great wealth. He whored himself and blew his integrity up for a $1.5 million payday. It doesn't seem worth it to me. But anyway, Pablo Torre did an in-depth deep dive into what really is Mike Lombardi's
and
career.
they go into his book that he's writing about, and his co-host on this episode of Pablo Torre Finds Out did the real deep dive, and he found some interesting things.
Michael Lombardi, he loves like a parable. He loves to tell you a story that's like a life lesson in it.
Yeah, and in particular, he loves the idea, the metaphor, the parable of things that look like something but are actually something else.
And I think what you see with Jared Goff is a little bit like there's two kind of snakes that you come across. There's Texas coral snake and the Mexican milk snake. They both look exactly alike. But the Texas coral snake is dangerous. It's venomous. It can kill you in a minute. The Mexican milk snake can't do anything to you. It's an imposter. Jared Goff's just a nice guy throwing the ball around. He's the Mexican milk snake. Dak Prescott, he's the Texas coral snake.
Nailed it.
So that's a guy that said, I'm going to compare two quarterbacks. Let's get on the internet and find two things that he Googled two things that are the same but different.
But also in my expert assessment of them, Jared Goff, he's not going to do anything to hurt you. Dak Prescott is the one that is really, really dangerous with the ball in his hand.
Well, this is what made him such a great non-GM. where I'm not even positive what jobs he really had because it's a bunch of lying. If you remember the letter that he sent out to the boosters, it's like a 6th grade book report because he has this big long quote from Bill Walsh. His big thing is he was with Bill Walsh. That he's learned so much from Bill Walsh, and I have always questioned that because just because you were in someone's orbit doesn't mean necessarily you learned anything from them. It's very possible to be around a powerful person, but on the peripheral where you don't even talk to them. So what was he references Bill Walsh? We've seen it recently.
So it's not only Lombardi learning from Bill Walsh. You get the sense that Walsh was learning from Lombardi too, to hear Lombardi tell it.
Right. That they were, they kind of played off each other to make these 49ers teams a success.
The dynamic duo.
I could argue that no one has had as much direct access as I've had to the men most responsible for transforming pro football into the game it is today. And I would argue that no one is better suited to highlight and explain the brilliant lessons and revelatory insights of these masters.
And to hear him tell it, I mean, he's Bill Walsh's right-hand man.
Leading up to the 1986 draft, there was an unusual sense of urgency even for the workaholic like Walsh. That winter, he seemed to always be calling me to fetch film of a prospect or work with the phones in search of more information. My job was to be on call at all times to help him with whatever he needed. That included invitation-only Saturday sessions in which Walsh and the 49ers staff discussed in great detail the players each of them had scouted over the previous week. Through it all, he took notes on his ubiquitous 3x5 cards, leaning my way and whispering instructions whenever he needed supplemental information.
Okay, so he goes into this big, long diatribe about...
By the way, I like the notion of an invitation-only Saturday session because those are oftentimes open to the public.
Yeah.
With football teams, you can just show up at Gillette Stadium on any given day and just walk in and be in the meeting room with Vrabel and the crew.
You know how you know someone's brilliant, too, is when they just straight up lead in with it. They tell you, like, hey,
I would argue
that I have been around the most. No one is better off to tell you about these great men than me. He, like, leads with it. So now you're, like, hooked. You're like, oh, my goodness. All right, so let's hear how much access he really had to Bill Walsh.
Craig took it a step farther than Ray Ratto. He was
So Ray Ratto, they asked first. He's a reporter with the 49ers, been there for years, and Ratto's like, I don't ever remember hearing Lombardi's name. So they asked not Bill Walsh, because he can't. They asked Craig Walsh, his son.
All right, so his son, you would think, would have some notion of his father.
Sure.
Wrote
a book on his dad.
Well, also, he came out of his scrotum, I would assume.
Yeah.
That there was some, at least, biological knowledge.
Right.
Craig took it a step farther than Ray Ratto. He was much more clear about the truth of this relationship.
He was just there in a very, very limited role. I don't think he really had any personal contact with Bill Walsh outside of maybe seeing him in the hallway or sitting in the back of a meeting, but he was not telling Bill, here's what we're going to do. We need to move up. We're going to trade with Pittsburgh to get their 8th pick, and then we're going to get this, and we're going to parlay that, and then we're going to get Charles Haley. And I don't buy any of that. He might have been like the gopher chauffeur, pick him up here. In fact, that does ring a bell. Yeah, that this was your entryway into it. You get to wear a 49ers shirt, but that's about as far as it goes.
Yeah, I mean, I could have told you that just by hearing him in interviews. He doesn't disguise this well. If you're the janitor of the Pentagon, like, you're not an expert on military deployment,
but you probably get a little shirt that says Pentagon something on it.
An invitation only. I made the coffee. It was an invitation only situation.
Not anybody could go into that room.
The white party in the Hamptons, I valeted cars there. I basically could tell you how Jay-Z built his empire. I parked his car. I could tell you. All of this is just confirmation of what I could have told you hearing this guy speak. Just his insistence on this Bill Walsh stuff. You knew that he had nothing that you knew he made it all up. He's so transparently dumb in his lies, which we've often said, and I've often said, is that you can tell someone's intelligence often by how they tell mistruths. We all exaggerate. We all, lend a little bit of juice to our stories. And sometimes we don't even know we're doing it. We told them so many times. Mm-hmm. In our brain, it's the real story. Put someone on a lie detector. But it's like, if you're telling me a story that's so preposterous that I can't believe that you would think that I think it's true, that's when you're dealing with a real idiot. And I've heard this from Lombardi. And that's why he's so combative. That you have to understand, it's a big personality flaw. They know they're dumb. You think that they're arrogant, but it's false arrogance from knowing that they're dumb. They're in over their heads. They're out of their depth. That's why. Who cares that you worked with Bill Walsh? What? First of all, you didn't. And second of all, even if you did, who cares? What does that mean? You prove it. You do something. You're in your mid-60s, idiot. Your whole life is that you just were friends with people?
No one has had
It's
as
time
much
for
direct
you,
access
stupid.
as I've had.
Yeah, then you do something, you idiot. It's worthless unless you do something. My cat's around me. My cat can't do a radio show just because you do it. Oh, my God, he drives me crazy.
And the Mexican milk snake.
You were around Bill Belichick. I was around Bill Belichick. Then you be Bill Belichick. It's time for you to do it. You do something, you idiot. Instead of just running around yelling at everyone about how you knew Bill Belichick and that makes you better than someone. Oh, just this false bravado. And he knows it too. You know he knows he's an idiot. But he's so dumb he thinks he's like pulling one over on you. Pablo Torre did a dive into Mike Lombardi, and what do we have here?
So what we have is the time when Lombardi joins Bill Belichick in Cleveland. Now, there's been this narrative and this notion that Bill somehow got changed after his time in Cleveland, that the way things ended there kind of turned him into the sourpuss and the very guarded individual that we know him here in New England as to be. But upon further investigation, Pablo Torre and his co-host find out, no, this was something from the jump there in Cleveland.
After 4 years with Walsh, for whom I worked my way up to an area scout position, I moved on to Cleveland. By the time I left 9 years later, I was the Browns' director of pro personnel. But more important, along the way, I swapped one legendary mentor for another as Belichick arrived in 1991 to begin honing his head coaching skills.
This is how the University of North Carolina program is born, right? It's in Cleveland.
Yeah. For the first time, Lombardi and Belichick meet up in Cleveland from 1991 to 1995, and they were instant best buds. Always in each other's offices.
Yes.
And you know what's funny is doing the same old shit over and over again, not saying hello to people, not getting outside advice. And people who I talked to who were there at the time, what I heard was that Belichick and Lombardi they got the locks on either side of the hallway of the coaches, so nobody but the coaches and personnel could go down that hallway. That's how sequestered immediately they were.
Wait, they locked?
You needed a special pass to get into where the coaches were.
Yeah, you had to put your foot under the stall door and let him see your shoe.
Let him know you're there.
Keep him out. Anything goes in this man pit.
Michael, as you mentioned...
Mike, lock the door. No one's going to come in here for a while. Assume the position, Mike. Mike, you understand that laws don't apply in this office, correct? This is international waters. This is a safe harbor.
The door clicks shut behind him.
Yeah, wouldn't you be freaked out if seriously, it's a Matt Lauer thing.
Yeah.
He had the door that shut and locked. If anyone's locking you out of something, there's stuff they don't want you to see, and I don't think it's game planning. I will go that far. That would be my assumption, and don't tell me it wouldn't be yours. If there was an area of this station where two people would lock themselves in and draw the blinds, what would be your assumption? They're doing something in there that they don't want you to see, and it can't be business. There's not any business that is that secretive. I mean, the military. But this is not the military. This is the NFL.
Right.
I mean, plenty of coaches have had success not locking themselves in with another man or woman, for that matter. It's just like, what are you doing in there that I can't see all day? Like, why does there have to be this protection for me and you? Now you've got my radar up. Like, if your kids lock their door, and you know something's going on they don't want you to see. And it's not math homework. All right.
So that the riffraff couldn't get in there. You know, like the owner.
Right. So Art Modell could not access it. My understanding is also that is, in fact, the Belichick-Lombardi relationship, a real intimate bond.
Oh, really? Oh, nice.
Machi.
The Belichick-Lombardi relationship, a real intimate bond. Like, those two guys, unlike the Walsh thing,
Right.
they actually do hit it off.
Yes, that's a really good point. This is a true close relationship. They're attached at the hip in Cleveland for 4 years.
Then what happened? Why did he have to work at Vissen for 10 years?
15.
If they were attached at the hip in Cleveland and they're such best friends, why was Lombardi out of football for so long?
Kraft took over like, nope.
Yeah,
Not this guy.
I mean, you know what an idiot you have to be to like have like your best friend be in charge of something and having all this success and be kicked out.
Yeah, I was just going to say, you stay in Vegas. You stay out there.
Yeah.
Work for Veasan. I'm going to stay here. Robert Kraft. It's like, Bill, whatever you want, except for
Lombardi.
that guy.
It's something that you
Carte
would,
blanche, except for this guy. I have to draw the line somewhere.
it's something that you would expect someone like here's a good example for two reasons. Like LeBron James, who has like an 18-year-old goes straight into the NBA. What am I going to do? I'm just going to hire my friends to run my business for me because I really don't know what else to do. The funny thing is, one of the guys in particular apparently has done a very good job working for LeBron James. And so he chose his friend who actually did well for him, whereas Belichick chooses Lombardi, who just screws stuff up.
Right. So, one's Maverick Carter, who's turned LeBron James's career into an empire, and a media empire. And the other one is Lombardi, who worked for Veasan. And did call-ins defending Belichick for 10 years.
And now is obsessed with typewriters.
All to get his $1 million from North Carolina and to be publicly humiliated.
I think it's more. I think it's more like 1.5.
This didn't make it into any of the clips, but he owns 6 typewriters.
Oh,
Go ahead,
yeah.
Marty. Hit it again.
Good.
Please. Thank you.
I like how he thinks that makes him an intellectual.
It's the funniest thing.
It's
like the low-key funniest
6,
part
by
of this
the
whole
way,
thing.
isn't all that impressive. Tom Hanks has 200.
But like
like
the
of all
more
vintage and
typewriters I
antique
own, the
models.
smarter I
Yeah, it's
am.
like how many? He goes, oh yeah, I have 5 or 6.
Like, I'm so smart, I use a
I might have
typewriter.
2.
Like
Check my attic.
I express ideas in a way that's different than yours. I hit the keys of a typewriter.
These deep thoughts require this typewriter, but when I'm
But I
thinking
do
about
on the
these
typewriter.
deep thoughts, I use this typewriter.
Right. It's like I only use the finest moisturizers to pleasure myself. Because that's what he's doing behind that typewriter, masturbating. What he's doing is shooting the program in the foot.
Wrong, they're back. Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
We're Toucher and Hardy, and we've been mocking Mike Lombardi, who is now the GM of the 2-4 North Carolina Tar Heels, who should have won last Saturday, in fairness. They should have beat Virginia at home in front of 2,000 rabid fans. But they turned the ball over in the red zone, and the gutsy going for 2 in overtime for the win fall just short. I would not bet on North Carolina on Saturday based on the reactions for that loss. Like, it seemed like a part of all those kids died when that ball was 6 inches short of the goal line.
Syracuse isn't very good, though.
I don't know if it matters.
Yeah.
Now, is it in Syracuse or is it?
Yes, it's at the Dome. Yes.
Oh, you can't get out of the Dome alive. Wasn't Syracuse supposed to be okay, too?
Yeah, they were. They
Yeah.
were, and they're not this year.
All right. Here's the deal: is Mike Lombardi, Pablo Torre? I guess Mike Lombardi has an audio book, a book of some sort. He wrote a book. Can someone find who published it? because I can't imagine that any reputable publishing firm would want some unknown hack quasi-executive to publish a book with just like out of everyone.
More than one. I'm looking up one here that is not the one that Pablo was referring to.
Well, Bobby Blotzer from Rat has got a book that he put out himself, and some of the pages were the same in that they were repeating pages.
I'm looking
like
at
Hatchet Book
Crown.
Yeah. I got Hatchet Book Group.
Yeah.
All right, I don't know anything about these.
Yeah.
I don't even know why I asked, because I only know Simon & Schuster basically and Penguin, so I don't really know anything else. But it seems like something you could put together at Kinko's. Like, I'm sure you guys have a friend who's written a book, correct?
Yeah.
Yes. So, we all have friends who have written books. It's getting it published and getting people to buy it, which is the issue. So far we've learned Lombardi plays up his relationship with Bill Walsh, but he was really just a gopher with no kind of access to Bill Walsh at all. So that's a giant misleading at best lie if you want to get into it. But here is Mike Lombardi. You want to know how involved he was with these Super Bowl teams. He's always talking about how he was involved with Super Bowl teams. Here is the truth.
And according to multiple sources in and around New England, with direct knowledge of this situation, the tenure that Mike Lombardi has as assistant to the coaching staff in New England from 2014 to 2016, it is quite clear how it all ended. Mike Lombardi gets into that building, ends up getting into various power struggles with other executives. Lombardi was, quote, internally disruptive. And so the problem was, by June of 2016, that economic calculus, the cost benefit of this guy is basically free labor for us, it flips because his Browns contract expires. And now the Patriots have to make a choice.
So he was working he brags about working as an intern for the Patriots. That's what on his resume highlighted, circled on his resume was a glorified intern position for the Patriots. This is, again, a guy whose whole thing is he knows more than you. He's combative. He's a dick. Like, I wouldn't care if this guy wasn't such a dick at all. Like, if Bill Belichick wasn't a dick, no one would care. No one's following Pete Carroll around, wagging their finger at him outside of Vegas. You have to understand that this guy's running around acting like he's better than everyone else. And it's always annoyed me because he's not. That's the thing, is if you're going to act superior to everyone, you better be on your effing game. Like, you gotta be, if you're going to swing it around like that, you got to be sending people to space. Like, you got to, we'll see how smart you are. Because a lot of times, and he was a dick to Felger and Maz, which set me off. Like, and it was so unnecessary, too, because he's dumb, right? And his whole thing is that he learned under the tutelage of these guys. Belichick's not even much older than him. A mentor that's 5 years older than you or something? Get out of here. And why isn't it time that you do something? Instead of running around about how brilliant you are, do it. Put it into practice. You don't have a job. You can't even get a real broadcasting job. You're on something called VZ, something with gambling nonsense that seems to pay for their time. Yeah. It's like when an auto dealership buys an hour on a Saturday. Like, they're like Lombardi's buying broadcast time. All right, here we go.
Do we pay Mike Lombardi to be in the building? What I am told with no ambiguity is that Mike Lombardi is fired by the Patriots because Bob Kraft, the owner of the team, tells Bill Belichick, in a rare instance of him overruling a personnel preference or desire, you got to get rid of him.
Oh, yeah.
The backdrop being that there was, quote, basically a mutiny in the building among not just staffers but players if he were to remain in the building.
Okay,
Didn't even know that he was going to say that, but I nailed it.
But you did. And the thing is that so you're attached at the hip with the head coach who's got carte blanche to do whatever he wants. And you're such a and you're working for free. And you're such a menace that you're such an intolerable piece of garbage with nothing to offer that they have to. You're the guy that they had to get rid of. Everyone else failed up. I mean, those assistant coaches for those first Super Bowl teams, they all got big gigs. Mm-hmm. They didn't do well, but they all got them. That's another story. But at least they stuck around and benefited from it. This loser is the only one who got his ass kicked out the door because he couldn't control himself. That's the problem. And it's not just because he was inept. It was because he was inept and a dick. Like, in the dick in Belichick's orbit. So what he did is he kind of like mirrored the guy that he thought was better than him.
Yeah, where the bar is set differently.
Oh yeah, like I would assume that everyone. I mean, Patricia went into Detroit acting like a dick, and apparently he's a nice guy in real life. So yeah, the barometer.
But if you're known as the dick when you're around Belichick, yeah, and where that's the gold standard right there, and it's like, oh no, it's he's even worse.
Right,
that's pretty bad.
That's like the standout dildo in a sex shop, like the one that they put in the window because like it's a real crowd pleaser. Like, there's a lot of dildos in here, but this one, look at it. It's huge.
This will bring.
It's almost comical.
This will bring the crowds in.
Yeah, it's like kind of a curiosity.
Yeah, no one actually buys it.
Right. We know it's dusty, but it brings in the curious, and maybe they'll pick up a vibrator or something.
So Lombardi, the gridiron genius, gets fired in June. The Patriots basically start their season with training camp in July and August.
Yep.
Go on to win the Super Bowl 7 months after parting ways with Michael Lombardi. At the top of every bio, at the beginning of every interview, every speech, every goddamn page of this book is the fact that he's a 3-time Super Bowl winning executive and strategist, and he wasn't even there for that one.
He wasn't even there. Mike Lombardi was not issued an official Super Bowl 51 ring as a Patriots employee during the 2016-17 season, as much as he enjoys referring to all of the bling he's won as a 3-time Super Bowl champion.
I got enough bling here to last a lifetime, right?
What I am told by multiple Patriots sources is that Lombardi did remain in contact with Belichick throughout that 2016 season in a purely personal capacity, and that after Super Bowl 51, something happened that still blows people who were in that building away. Because Bill Belichick, I am told, personally bought and presented Lombardi with a Super Bowl ring. Not an official team-issued A-grade ring with the real diamonds in it and all that, but the kind that a top executive could buy for his family members.
Yeah. So Belichick respected you so much that he knew you were such a dolt that he had to present you with fake jewelry to make you happy. He's
costume jewelry.
Costume jewelry. He gave you a cubic zirconia Super Bowl ring.
He went to Zales.
Right.
Because the team wasn't actually going to get him one because...
Yeah, he's got the one Sosie's wearing. Like, I mean, congratulations. You knew someone on the team. And the thing about it is great. Belichick is like, I appreciate you. Here's your ring. It's one thing that happens. It's a little humiliating. And, Belichick's not 20 years older than him. I mean, it's like kind of like someone on your level, going, here's a little nugget for you, kid. But it's one thing for that to happen. It's another thing to stand up and announce it constantly and to show it off, but you didn't earn that. It's not a real. Do you understand? You're actively lying. So arrogance aside, he knows that's not a real ring. He's trying to dupe all of you. Like he's trying to dupe the audience. He's like a magician. It's a sleight of hand. He's a real piece of garbage. He's just lying about his accomplishments. It's quite unbelievable. And like, I'm surprised he had, how much he had to annoy people for all this to come out? He could have just lived his life with the 3 rings, but he had to run around acting like he was better than everyone when he's an idiot.
This is unbelievable.
And this is the trap of the idiot. And he's going to get pushed out of North Carolina. I assure you that will happen. There's no doubt in my mind. There's no way they're going to sit around and allow him to stay. That I promise.
For the latest from the Sports Hub, download at 985thesportshub.com.